Alright, sangela thina sinibikele sinamkele. Welcome to it. Sithi happy Thursday. Kanti ke igama ngumxolisi wakwaMasango. Uselo sengakana usethulela uhlelo ngolomele impawu. Bukeli sihlala sishoke ukuthi kuyinto ezinkulu ukuhlanganyelana nani as we continue to build the nation one conversation at a time. Now, Independent Electoral Commission, SAAYC ngamafubi yasho ke yithi konke sekume ngomumo uqinisekisa ukuthi voter registration weekend continues ngaphandle kweyingqinamba or ama glitches. Esikhathini esiningi ke siyazi ke ukuthi siwulusha sesiye sayibona i-trend even with ama local government election ukuthi kuthiwa abantu abasha kuyibona aba despondent or mhlambe kuthiwa kuyibona bangathanda ukuvota esikhathini esiningi. This now means ukuthi bawu 14 million abantu abasha abangarejistile njengamanje. Lokho kusho ukuthi ke as a young person you cannot actively participate ku discourse usho ukuthi ke mhlawumbe uex wakho uqinisekise ukuthi makes a difference empilweni yakho. Namhlanje siuhlelo sihlala phansi to also gauge and find out ukuthi kusho ukuthini lokho in the grander scheme of things njoba sazi ukuthi granted siyabantu abasha sihlangabezana nenqinamba eziningi sikhuluma ngeunemployment sikhuluma ngenhlupheko esikhathini esiningi which has actually forced abantu abasha ukuthi basho bona ukuthi cha sibona ngathi asikho isidingo sokuthi sihambe siyovota but listen ke umuntu umusha kuthiwa ke uex wakho can make a difference. Statistics South Africa usitshela ukuthi bawu 14 million abantu abasha abangarejistile ukuyovota. This now means ukuthi abakwazi ukuparticipate ku democracy yala Mzansi Africa. Namhlanje sikhuluma ngokubaluleka kokuyorejistela to vote with the SAAYC as well as nevakashi zethu. Kodwa ke asifake ke esinye isivakashi njengamanje that joins us for lenkulumo kanti sihambisana no Abel Ndaba who's the center manager at the Southern African Association of Youth Clubs Free State. Sikubingelela sikwamukele.
Yalwa.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ramaklodi, yes. Maybe ngaphambi siye kefini just to clarify, mhlambe usinikeze clarity nathi ukuthi sazi ukuthi mhlambe izinto ezi-investile uqinisekisa ukuthi voter education ingendlela efanele yiziphi njenge SAAYC.
Mishumo eri dirang rele commission ya dikgetho gore re fikishe tshedimosetso go setšhaba ke mentši. We have field workers that are recruited within communities where they conduct voter education on a daily basis. These are people that speak the local language to ensure that the message is understood by those communities. We run a number of digital campaigns as well. We have what we call a tertiary institutions, a campaign where we encourage young people to register to vote and also to vote. We are also available on different social media platforms. We on TV as well. Like for instance, we are here today to say to South Africans that the choice not to participate is not the right choice. The right choice is actually to participate, because if you look at the system of government that we have in South Africa, which is electoral democracy, the only way that you can actually make a real, a difference, it's through participation. If you don't participate, it means there's no way that you can ever really make any difference, So indeed, we are available, on different platforms to ensure that all South Africans get the relevant information. It is clear that indeed there are gaps in terms of the information along where Africa Barobana Leon. So we are available on all those platforms, regularly, to ensure that when we go to elections, at least the majority of South Africans are registered to vote. Because you see, the challenge with it is that if you're not registered to vote and you decide to then go and vote, towards elections, unfortunately, you won't be able to do that. Because in terms of our system, you can only participate if you are registered to vote. Hence, we are here today to encourage all South Africans, to show up at their voting stations come this weekend.
Yeah. So is this going to be the only voter registration weekend or just before ukhetho?
There will possibly be another one in February next year. However, we're not encouraging people to wait for the February one. We're saying let's take advantage of the first registration weekend so that then we can begin to focus on other preparations. You would remember that the information in the voters roll, it's used to plan for elections. So the earlier we have information in terms of how many people are registered and where those people are, the earlier we're able to plan better for elections.
Njalo. And noxolo sikubuyise futhi ngoba siyazi ukuthi unathi lapho ku Zoom as umuntu omusha. Mhlambe masingezwe kuwena ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi uphila nokukhubazeka thizeni. Mawungasixoxela ukuthi mhlambe ama challenges ohle uhlangabezane nawo ikakhulukazi mawuyovota imaphi sisiwami?
Ngicela ungiphinzele umbuzo.
Ethi ke sizwe ukuthi ama-challenges ohlangabezana nawo njengomuntu omusha ikakhulukazi uma uyovota njengoba uphila nokukhubazeka thizeni imaphi?
Ngicela singahlangabetana nawo because akhona ama-special vote for bantu labakhubatekile bayeta etindzabeni tethu basirejistele ukuvota.
Yes, and I think also Bra Abel, I'm going to bring you in njengamanje ngoba siyezwa ke abantu abasha esikhathini esiningi bakhala ngokuthi badinga ama solutions to inkinga zabo and badinga ama solutions now. How are we going to be moving as ulusha njengamanje ikakhulukazi masibuka ukuthi there's a need for abantu abasha? First of all, it's not like they're saying ukuthi they don't want to actively participate. It's just that they feel like not voting is also actively participating.
Yeah. I think not voting has a kgetho ye entle yo ya go ska kgetha.
Yeah.
Kapo o kgetho gona ha ke batlong ka karolo di kgetho. Ntho tla me re etse go rena think advantage because we are still young.
Yeah.
Think advantage ka dilemo tse re leng ho tsona. Ho rena re pave the coming generation, why one. And then for example, if you want to plant a seed now, say orange. We expect our not orange. Not in future. But if you are not acting now, what are you expecting in the future? Why one? So the results kapo situation e re tholang re le ho yona no ke di results tsa di qeto tse nkuweng khale. Now ke nako ya rona jwale ka batjha hore na ke lookisetse batjha ba bang pele kapo generation e tlang ka hore na re etse kgetho le diqeto tse nepahetseng. And qeto e re tlameha re nke ke yona ya hore na re register go kgetha and then re kgetha ha qeta go kgetha and hold those people accountable be ba kgethileng hobane hore o kgetha qeta bo dula o shebella then o complainer le teng ha se qeto e hantle. So re ba hold accountable but also re be the active citizens within our own communities.
Yeah.
Re attended the meetings re khona hore na re nke diqeto kapo di changes tse re batlang ho di bona re di practice wa bona re khona ho kgetha le batho be le gona ba tla representa. And the question that I have gore na young people don't want to vote has ba bangata be le ha ba tlo kgetha mara ba be le ha ba tlo kgetha ba batla gona ba nkele diqeto ke bo mang. If it's wena motjha ankang bohato ke mang a tla nkela bohato ha o sa bonke hona jwale ba gona o register go kgetha ke mang a tla registerela ke matla o khethela because vote ya ha ke ya bohlokwa le yona.
Yeah, and noxolo ithi ke sizweke ukuthi wena inhlangano yakho yenzani imuphi umsebenzi enwenzayo as iqolo's touch as abantu abasha?
Iqolo's touch isita abantwana nabaphuma emndenini lengekhona yithi with sanitary towels, uniforms, toiletries and clothes.
And again, I think Bra Abel yiyona le active citizenry esiyibonayo esikhathini esiningi mangongixoxela mhlawumbe about einselela ama challenges that young people on the ground are also facing kwi constituency yakho.
Yeah, the challenges tse le gona re kopana ho tsona le ho di members mostly tsa gona ke yona unemployment rate e le gona e phahame. Our young people want to be part of the growing economy but ha ona inclusivity aba khone go ba include ka hare wa bona hona di ntho ka reng ke di gatekeepers batho e le gona ha ba thibela gona ba kene ka hare ha ba batlo gona ba banke ba pale a leadership role within the organization within the society ba ntse ba rena re tla ba emela ba hole wa bona. So ntho ya gona re ba emela ba hole re sa ba nke re ba mentore ke yone e le gona ya ba discourage hanya. So ha ka ga rena re nke batho be le gona already they are into power go bena le program ya mentorship me le gona ga ba kenyeletsa bona ba tšhabana re khona gona re ba prepare go ba bapale di critical roles within organization le di institutions.
And Ntatele Ramahlodi enye into futhi engifuna ukuyiraise sesiye sabona I think ngaphambilini even during my time as a field journalist sengeke ngabona kakhulu kuba khona ispread sama service delivery protest ikakhulukazi masibuka voter registration weekend thizeni mhlambe ke uqinisekisa ukuthi konke lokhu nyakwazi ukmitigate or mhlambe ukunqanda ukuthi konke lokhu kwenzeke konke sinwenzile amalungiselelo.
Yes, definitely. Remember, elections and of course, registration is part of elections. It's a multi-stakeholder project. So there's the security cluster that we've consulted with, and we have meetings on a regular basis to ensure that there are no challenges during the voter registration weekend. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
I wanted to come in. The challenge with young people deciding not to vote, it's a big one, because if you look at our population demographics, more than 60% of the population is composed of young people. Now, if that is the case, then it means, therefore, that the changes that young people want to make, they cannot make by deciding to stay away from the process, the only process that has been set or established to ensure that, they bring about the changes that they want, If you look at there's an issue of unemployment. Of course, there's the issue of service delivery. There's the issue of corruption. And those are the issues that, come forward every time you want to engage with young people to try and establish their reasons for not wanting to vote, not wanting to participate. However, if we pull back now, who's going to, change those ills in society that make us, despondent, for a lack of a better word, So the issue is not so much apathy, it's deliberate disengagement. We've recently conducted a thought leadership seminar, to try and establish why are young people actually not voting, and they said, no, they're not voting, not necessarily because they're apathetic, no, because it's deliberate disengagement. They have decided that because of the decline in trust in government which is established through voting in elections, they are not going to take part in this thing anymore. You come to a country with electoral democracy as a system of government, then you have a problem if the only way that you can make a change that you want is through voting, and you are deciding to just that one thing that can make a difference, not to do that thing. So you see, it means, therefore, we are perpetuating the problem that we're complaining about as young people in South Africa.
Yathemba-ke ukuthi niyezwa-ke nani la studio ikakhulukazi laba participating in the first round engagement kwi-audience. Mbukeli, siyabuya emva kwalokhu. Hlala nathi khona la ku-Daily Thetha.